This is exclusive updates, and so I found it pretty strange how Beyonce was hanging sideways from that vehicle at her concert in Houston, Texas.
New at 11, frightening moments for superstar Beyonce at her concert in Houston tonight. Something malfunctioned as she rode in a red Cadillac suspended in the air while performing her song 16 Carriages. It started to lean and appeared to get stuck. Beyonce could be heard calmly repeating the word, "Stop." The car was eventually brought down. Beyonce then took the stage, thanking her fans for their patience, saying, quote, "If ever I fall, I know y'all will catch me."
Stop. Stop, 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 stop.
The car is tilted. Oh my God. Put her down! Put her down! Oh my God.
I want to thank y'all for loving me. If ever I fall, I know y'all catch me.
That could have been a serious tragedy, and I gotta think, like, the people involved in preparing that moment, was there some type of sabotaging going on? Because it just seems like something that should have been avoidable, something that shouldn't have happened, should have been secured for the safety of not only Beyonce, but the audience below. The audience below would have been crushed from that car. That looked like an actual full-size, literal car that was being held up by those wires. I mean, at first I was suspecting it might have been a mock car, but I mean, you would hope it was. Either way, it would have been damaging. But I mean, if it was a real car, that means it had an engine in it, and it would have been much heavier. Either way, though, I mean, it would have been tragic. So it doesn't really matter if the car was a mock car or an actual car, because the results would have been devastating for not only Beyonce, but the people below her if that car would have fell. And how irresponsible for someone to have that happen, to allow that to happen. And, you know, because when you're involved in a show like that, you have to cross your T's and dot your I's, make sure everything's secure. You have to double check things, maybe even triple check things to make sure something like this will never happen. But it wouldn't happen anyways. It happened, but it didn't fall. So she was able to safely get down to the ground and walk away safely from this. But, you know, it just seems like, could have this been an attempt? Could have this been an attempt to have a tragedy happen? And out of all places, Houston, Texas again. Like, okay, first of all, this is where Beyonce is from. Second of all, this is where the Travis Scott situation happened, in Houston, Texas. So, I mean, there was a big event that happened during the Travis Scott concert, and there's a lot of people that were on alive during that. And his career has recovered since then because it happened so long ago. It was pretty tragic. It was very tragic, actually. And it looked like he was done for, if you were in that moment, you would have thought that he was probably never going to be doing the show again. But fast forward now, years later, not even that much longer later, it just was probably like within 2 or 3 years, he was back doing shows at that level again. Big festivals, large crowds, I should say massive crowds. And Travis Scott is back doing this like that never happened. People have, I guess, memories to where I kind of expected that, to where, yeah, a couple years goes by, people have moved on to so many other different stories. No one's even thinking about that anymore. So his career completely bounced back. And so now with Beyonce, it just seems like, well, that would have been a situation where I'm wondering if maybe this was an attempt, because with the record company and the record businesses, there's been a lot of suspicious stories about what can happen to artists. Kanye West admitted what happened to his mom. Well, people don't know really what to believe when Kanye West speaks, but he had suggested that something happened to his mom that might be related to the music industry. And he named off a lot of other names like Jennifer Hudson. And I'm going to get that clip for you all in another video. So make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. And I'll get that to you at another time. But I mean, I actually have a playlist about this stuff in my music celebrity playlist. And then I have a Hollywood movie playlist, because they both kind of go hand in hand. And so I'll leave a link to those playlists in the comment section and description box. You can get caught up on my previous stories on the subject. You'll probably really want to check out my music celebrity playlist, where I cover all types of different incidents that, kind of look strange. And there's a lot of proof that something's going on behind the scenes. Are these celebrities making deals? Is their time up at a certain point where, they sign this deal, they get on, they become the biggest star in the world, an international superstar, if you will, and then something tragic might happen out of nowhere, unexpectedly. Now, accidents do happen. So let me know in the comment section, do you think this was an attempt on Beyonce, or do you think it was just random accident with no foul play involved? I'm somewhere on the fence on this one. I would have to probably lean more towards this was intentional, because it just, that's just kind of my feeling about this situation. Now, there's room for it to have been just an honest mistake. Some of them probably didn't screw in the wires right, or, something came loose just unexpectedly. But, there's also spiritual forces at play here too. Now, a while ago, there was one of Beyonce's band members that she had to fire, and she suspected Beyonce of being a literal witch. And then you have people like Megan Fox that has been suspected of vampirism. And, I'm not going to get into the details. I did some stories on it. You can check it out in my playlist. Also, there's others. I mean, Katy Perry, and the list goes on and on with these artists. Are they part of some type of Wiccan situation? Are they part of a group like The Craft or something? And it's very possible. I mean, are they casting spills on their fans in their music and in their music videos? There's a lot of weird music videos that come out from the music industry. There's a lot of subject matter that they try to influence, because these artists have influence over their listeners. Well, some of their listeners. So plus, you have all different ages that might listen to their music. So when they say things or promote certain things, it can be influential on the listeners. So the industry knows the power that these celebrities hold. I mean, they set trends, they get people to dress like them, they get people to talk like them, walk like them, act like them. So even if there's not this aspect of spirituality and witchcraft and stuff, there's also that aspect where it could just be natural influence, and that's an actual thing, and you can't deny that. So behind the scenes you have certain agendas, and yeah. So anyways, I mean, Beyonce made it out of this situation. This would have been the biggest news in the world if that would have went left. I mean, it looked to me like she was strapped into that car through a harness around her waist. So I'm thinking, because the way that car was tilting, I'm thinking she would have fell right out if it wasn't for a harness. She, to me, was harnessed into that car. So as that car began to tilt almost completely sideways, she kept singing. Now my suspicion is that she might put some live vocals in there. Well, I know her mic was on because she said no, 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 or what? No, she said stop, 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 because she wanted them to probably stop the music and stop the moving of the car and get her down. Like, why was the music continuing to play when she was hanging sideways? Of course, that's why she said stop, 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 because the music was still playing. It's like, who was backstage not understanding this? Okay, stop the music. So Beyonce went ahead and kept singing. My suspicion is that she pre-records live vocals over instrumentals. I believe, suspicious that, well, this is my personal opinion, I believe that she might be putting some live vocals before the show so she can rehearse it and she can redo it. If she doesn't like it, she can make it sound how she wants to, and it will sound authentic like it's live vocals, but all she has to do is lip sync it. That's my personal opinion about what's going on with a lot of Beyonce stuff, because she even did that at the Obama inauguration when she sung the national anthem. They said one of the people had busted her out and said that she was actually, those were vocals that she was lip syncing, but it sounded live. So I know the technique of putting the instrumental on and singing live vocals, and then you have those live vocals playing, and it will sound like you're actually singing into the mic, because you don't want to have just the same track as the music that you put out. You don't want to be ad-libbing over your actual song, because people can tell that's straight up from the song that was released. You can tell that the difference between a live vocal and listening to a song on a radio song. For example, if you just play a song from Beyonce, you listen to it, okay, you can tell if she tried to lip sync that exact same song and not say one vocal, you would know the difference. You would say, hey, that's definitely from the same song, and that's the song that's available to the public. So what they do, in my opinion, is they play the song with a live vocal. They just have the instrumental, and then they live perform it privately, and they can play that track, and then during the concert they can have that play, and it'll sound like she's actually singing with a live mic though. So whenever she wants to improvise or add whatever, she can add it to the live track, whatever's playing. And so the mic was definitely on because she said stop, but I just find it strange. Why would you finish singing that song if that was a live vocal? If you were really singing and that song was, and that car was hanging sideways, almost literally about to fall and drop, why wouldn't you say, hey, stop right now? Why wouldn't you say stop, stop, stop right there? Why would you continue singing and complete the song? So she waited until that song was complete, and then she said, hey, stop, stop. Like, what are y'all doing? She thought they would have stopped the song. They didn't. So they let her play. She sat there and sung. I just found that very strange. She sat there and completed the song while she was hanging sideways, about to possibly fall and injure some people. I would have been like, I think she should have been like saying into the mic, hey, stop the music. She should have stopped singing. She should have everybody move from behind, from under the car. She should have probably told them to disperse from under this area. Something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Give me some help. Get me down. Help get me down right now. Somebody get me down. I don't know. Like, I guess she didn't want to panic and freak out in front of the world. I guess she was more concerned about her image than reacting like a normal person, I suppose. I mean, I just think that, as the song finally stopped, then she kind of got real and said, hey, stop, So, well, that could have been the end of Beyonce. If that car would have failed, she would have been so badly injured, or possibly might not have made it. you know, depending on if that car was real or not. That's what it all comes down to. I think kind of that would have been a big factor. If that's like a light model car, all plastic, just made to look, you know, a replica of a car, and that means it could have been light, something that you could just kind of pick up with your, you know, it would have took maybe a couple people could have picked it up if it's a replica of a car. If that was an actual, see, that's the damage would have depended on if that was a real car or not. Either way, though, she was pretty high up there. She would have gotten injured at the very least, or worse. It could have been worse. So, especially if depending how she would have felt, like if that car would have flipped and she would have felt like with that upside down or something, and then on top of those chairs, and you know, it would have been pretty brutal. This was a very strange situation. Like I said, let me know, do you think it was intentional? Is somebody after her? Was it a spiritual attack? Was it like maybe the Final Destination movie? You know, something like what do you think happened? Do you think it was just an honest mistake, or do you think it was something foul play at hand? So let me know in the comment section. Like I said, I'm gonna leave some links for you to get caught up on my other videos that has to do with the music industry and these celebrities, and we get into a lot of different stuff. So you're gonna want to check that out. I'm also gonna leave links to my other channels and stuff, my social media, my online stores and stuff like that, free email newsletters. So yeah, let's get over 100 likes on this video. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. Or you can become a YouTube member or a monthly Patreon to help out this channel, or I got a thank you button. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Exclusive Updates, signing off.